Hello there. Let's be honest. Only the cool and hipster Silicon Valley startups are using the bleeding edge Next.js version and deploying to Vercel, alright? 99% of the companies out there that use React, it's very likely that they're just using vanilla React as a single page app and using that alongside another backend framework like Rails, Laravel, or even Elixir. And then here you are working on a legacy React single page app, and then watching all these YouTubers saying, wow, we have server side rendering, we have incremental static regeneration, we have static side generation, we have React server components. And you're like, wow, I'm missing out. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of FOMO. Now, what if I told you? What if I told you that you can access all of those new cool and hipster features without migrating to Next.js? What if I told you that all you need is to upgrade the version of your React router? That would be fantastic, right? Now, right now, after this video, okay? Wait this video. You're gonna go to reactrouter.com, and then here on the branch, you're gonna click on dev. We now have the pre-release of React Router v7. And sure, this is a pre-release. If you click on anything here, it's very likely that you're gonna get this warning of this document is a work in progress, go back later, okay? But if you want to have like a sneak peek, a quick glimpse of what the newest version of React Router is going to be, you can go here. There are some documents that we're gonna check together to see what are the new features. So let's check the new features of React Router v7. Whoa. Hold up. Let's read this together. With v7 and the Vite plugin, you have route loaders, actions, and automatic data revalidation, type-safe route modules, type-safe route paths across your app, automatic route code splitting. So instead of sending one huge bundle of JavaScript to the client, you're going to code split that per route, and that's automatic. No work on your end. We also have automatic scroll restoration across navigations. So if you press the back button and you were like scroll down to the bottom of the page, you're gonna go back to the bottom of the page. Now watch this. Static pre-rendering, server rendering, React server components. Yes, that's exactly right. You're going to get all the new and cool features from Next.js without having to migrate to Next.js. And this is thanks to the amazing folks behind React Router, which are the same folks behind Remix. They realized that most of the React applications out there are just vanilla React and React Router single page apps, and they thought, hold up, what if we just moved everything from Remix to React Router? Now everyone that has a legacy React app has access to all these new cool features. And that's exactly what they did. This is why I am so bullish on React Router and Remix, now React Router. Because they are giving you, the developer that works on a legacy app, the chance to taste the new features. And this is so exciting. So if anyone from the Remix or React Router team is watching this video, thank you so much. I think this is the first time that I see someone deeply caring about the older versions. Because historically speaking, Next.js, they just break stuff and move on. Break stuff, move on. They don't care about SPA mode. They don't care about, compatibility with older versions. They just want to break stuff and move fast. And I hate this. Now, thank God we have React Router. And let's check a little bit of the documentation together. Now, once again, you need to click on the branches button on top and then click on dev, right? And in theory, if you're coming from Remix, all you need to do is upgrade a couple of imports. And I think you also need to upgrade the way that you define routes. But the most important update that you need to do is to change the imports. So we're going to change from remix-run to react-router, and that's mostly it. Super cool, right? Now the migration path to V7, if you are using an older version of React Router and you're not using Vite, it seems that the migration path is a bit more time consuming, but still, this is the best that we have today, the best option. So let's go to the I'm New tab, and I want to show you guys, not this one, I want to show what exactly you're going to gain by upgrading to the newer versions of React Router. The first thing that you can notice is that the routes are now defined on a different way. We now have like a routes variable that is an array, and then we're going to call index, route, and layout functions, pointing to like what's the path and the React component that is going to be rendered on that path. Yeah, this is not something that I wanted to show actually. This is what I want to show. Now, check this out. How much work do you think it's necessary to grab your legacy SPA and convert to server-side rendering? If you're using Vite, you're going to go to the viteconfig.ts and you're going to set the React Router plugin to SSR true. And that's it. Now you have access to the loader and action that comes from Remix. And the loader and action functions, they run on the server. The loader is called every time you do an HTTP GET, and then every time you do an HTTP POST, PUT, delete, then the action is going to be called. And these two run on the server, okay? And anything that you do inside these two is server-side only, so they're not going to increase the bundle that you're going to send to the client because they're not being shipped to the client. And you might be thinking, well, okay, so if this is just a Boolean flag, that means that if I set to true, then every single page is going to be server rendered. Can't I use client rendering on other pages? And yes, you can. The only difference is that you're going to set this flag to true. And if you want a route to be client-side only, instead of calling loader and action, you're going to call client loader and client action. That's it. If you do that, that means that you are going to you're going to run the loader and the action on the client side, okay? And you can read this here. All you need to do is start using client loader, okay, to avoid server rendering or fetching. And that's it. So set this flag to true and start using client loader and client action. And now what about static pre-rendering? So static site generation. You're going to have this function, which is an async function called pre-render. And from here, you're going to return an array with all the paths that you want to statically generate, okay? Now, this is important because maybe you need to, I don't know, get this data from an external source to see which routes are going to be rendered dynamically. So that's why you have access to a function. Let me see. There's also another convention here, another example here, sorry. Okay. So for example, let's assume that you want to statically generate a bunch of posts. So inside the pre-render function, you're going to query the post somewhere. That could be a database query, a fetch call, a file read, whatever. And then you're going to return the URL for every single one of these posts. This way, you're going to tell React Router which routes to pre-render. And then the last thing from here is React Server components. Now, the difference between server-side rendering and React Server components is that instead of returning the page server rendered, typically you are querying your data source, like either a database or a fetch call, whatever, and then rendering the React component on the server and returning that to the front end. So here, if we have like a products and reviews component, instead of querying these two data and then rendering the products and reviews component here, you are straight up just returning the components from the server. And then here you render that from the server, okay? Now, this is still in development. I know that the React Router team is very careful when it comes to React server components because they want to, I don't know, they want the React team to have a finished product before they fully commit to something that they are, I don't know, not ready for production, you know? So that's the most important thing that I wanted to show you guys. If you're using React Router and you want to have access to the new cool features like server-side rendering, static generation, no need to worry about that. Don't start migrating to Next.js. Don't start migrating even to Remix. Don't do that. Just wait, and then soon we're going to have the final release of V7 and you can enjoy all of those benefits. So React Router team, thank you so much. You are saving the React ecosystem. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.